the Brilliant Movement, the Ambassador Program. For those of you who maybe have seen this presentation, well, you haven't, because I changed a few things. I added a few things, mixed around. I'm always in the laboratory, not the lavatory, the laboratory, not the forget it. And so today I'm going to share with you a couple new things. Um, but I'm really excited about this. Just very, very excited about this. We're at a really, really cool time. And so how did this happen? How did we get here? So it was 14 months ago, I got introduced to Graham Cooke through friends of mine, Todd and Tamara, and they introduced me specifically to this book. And I've just been, kicking this around. 14 months ago, I was going through some interesting stuff. And I won't elaborate on all of it, but my oldest son and I were not talking. We were in a very bad place. I have a 27-year-old, had him when I was 4, and we weren't talking. It was a tough time. I was 35 pounds heavier than I am right now, and I was really confused because I had come to the Lord a year prior to this, and I just didn't know what was the Lord calling me to do. I didn't know if I was being called into ministry. I didn't know if I was being, supposed to stay in business, which I've been in full-time entrepreneur for 20 years, and I just didn't know. And so my friends came over, visited with me, and shared with me this book. I ordered it, and I get into it, and I'm like, whoa, this is different. Like this is different. I've never heard anything like this. And so in my very first quote crafted prayer that I did, I got a major answer, and that experience helped me um, improve all the other areas of my life. Help me improve. I now my oldest son and I are like best friends. I mean, we talk. Actually, I was supposed to call him tonight, so I should have done that. But we seriously we talk like every day. We FaceTime, text, or call every single day. Like I mentioned, I've lost 35 pounds. I'm in the best shape. I'm in better shape than high school. And like I ran into last night. I was at a birthday party, and I ran into some people I haven't seen for a while, and they're like, dude, like you look totally different. And honestly, all of that comes from just having a better walk with the Lord and getting into more relational experiences with the Lord, and and that has helped every area of my life. And so I'm just so grateful for Graham and the work that he's done, his lifelong work. And I love, one of my favorite new things to do is introduce people to Graham for the first time. And it's just really cool. And so that's kind of part one of this story. And then part two is then I got to know Dion. And so Dion, I got introduced from Todd and Tamara as well, and got to know him, and learned a ton from both Dion and Graham. I was in their Brilliant School of Leadership, and I'm also in their inner circle and Leader Forge. And after a whole lot of prayer and working together, we decided to all partner on this program that you're going to hear about tonight. And we see this as a very unique chance to get on the ground floor of something that's never been done before. Now, I never want to assume that, everyone on here, knows who Graham is. So, Graham is an internationally recognized author, teacher, and speaker. His powerful, life-changing messages have helped transform the lives of people around the world. Over 40 years of ministry experience. Just his voice is very, very unique. I've studied in my short time. I'm a pretty relentless student. It's just the way God wired me. In my short time of 2.5 years with the Lord, I have studied a lot of different people, and his way of helping you get into relation with the Lord is just different than anyone else. And I'm really curious, if you're on here and you do know Graham and his work, how has he helped you? Drop it in the comments, because there's always someone on here who has never experienced him. Like, who is he talking about? So drop in the comments if you've had improved life changes through Graham's work. We'd love to see it in the comments. Feel free to share with us. And it's just he's changed my life, and now I love introducing new people to him and his life work. It's really cool. And so Graham and Dion's company is called Brilliant Perspectives, and Brilliant is a movement of kingdom activators. And so we partner to bring you a brand new concept, allowing you to spread the message and share the blessing. Now, the main resource of this movement, I'm going to break it down for you as quickly as possible. But the main resource of the movement is an app called Brilliant Plus. And Brilliant Plus is something that, as of not that long ago, a few months ago, had about 6,000 paying subscribers in 72 different countries, and people just loving the content. And there's a lot of content in there. I'm in it every single day, and I have been for a while now. It's just amazing, And I have friends of mine that I introduced to the app that they're like, dude, I'm like addicted to it. I have to go in it every day. It's so helpful to me, and it's really cool. But what is it? Well, it's an app. It's got over 600 videos, and it's ever growing. Daily routines, sleep meditations, over 50 full-blown training courses, guiding learning sessions, 21-day challenges to jumpstart your kingdom learning, crafted prayers, guided meditations, replays from live conferences, guest content, and it's just incredible. And I highly encourage you, whether you like any of the rest of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about, highly encourage you to get back with the person that invited you and at least get a 5-day free trial and get into this content. Get into this content, and you tell me if I'm telling you how amazing it is or not, or if you agree. Because this content is just incredible, and it's just such a just an incredible gift for anyone that you introduce to it. They're really going to thank you if they get into it. They're gonna thank you. And so my testimonial, when I got into Brilliant Plus, I went through constant continuous favor. I went through the Fruit of the Spirit, which is one of the most popular ones, and Developing Your Destiny. And it just really helped me with some distinctions that I had not gotten from my daily Bible study. And I still do that. Graham did not replace my Bible study. Okay. It's Bible plus Graham. That's how I roll. And but he gave me some distinctions, such as the difference between servanthood and sonship. And so servanthood is, hey, I'll do what you want, boss. I'll go and make that happen. Sometimes you can fall into, my friend Pastor Baker says, he's God the Father, not the Godfather, right? And so servanthood can sometimes feel like you're just tasked to go do this thing, whereas sonship, daughtership, if you want to call it that, that's where my Father, the King, has asked me to do something. I'm honored to do it. I'll do it with excellence, and I don't need a reward for it. I'm just honored to do it. But the cool thing is Isaiah 55:8-9 says his ways are higher than our ways. And so he actually wants to bless you, right? Psalm 35:27 says he delights in the prosperity, well-being, and peace of his servants. And those that want to walk in his will are, can be blessed. And so I've just learned so much from Graham and so much from the app. It's just been awesome. But it's not just me. And I'll show you a few of these. We literally have thousands of these, because the app itself has been around for, I believe, around 9 years, I believe. Jenny, you have to correct me if I'm wrong there. But let's just read a couple of these, and then I'll share more of the meat here. But Shirley says it's like this series is like a refreshing rain or a most delicious meal. How cool is that? I love that. Eric says every time I watch this. So listen to what he says there. Every time. So that means, did he watch it one time? No, every time. Right? What you'll find is this content is so rich and so powerful that you'll find yourself wanting to listen to it and watch it multiple times. So Eric says every time, not just one time that I skim through it, but every time I watch this, it recalibrates and tunes me into the voice of the Lord. What could be better? Dorothy says it's a most important video that a believer can watch. The new perspective is mind-blowing. The impact's everlasting. Kelly, now we have certain sleep meditations. A lot of people struggle with sleep, and Graham's put together amazing programs for sleep, where he says, my soul is sweetly reset and my mind is at ease. That's pretty cool. Elizabeth talks about how it helped eradicate all the paradigms of what she thought love was. Very cool. And so we just want to share with you a way that we can all work together and activate the kingdom and give others the opportunity to do the same. And so I want to break down, what is member, what is ambassador, just so you kind of get this lingo. And so a member is $47 a month or $397 a year. Now, again, like I mentioned earlier, every single guest on here, you can get back with the person that invited you, and you can join our 5-day free trial, and you will not be charged for the 5 days. You can get it full access. It's not, we don't give you like, here's some leftovers, right? You get the full access to the app, and you're able to peruse it as much as you want for 5 days for free. And that's a 5-day free trial. So make sure at minimum you get back with the person who invited you and get access to that. But it's $47 a month or $397 a year. Ambassador is $10 per year, which I'll share that with you here in a minute. And so the membership includes Brilliant Plus, the app that I've been talking about, also events, gatherings, small groups, and then Ambassador it gives you the ability to promote the movement and also build your impact and your income. Now, the Brilliant Plus app is the key resource. We've talked a lot about that. And the free tickets, we do a Limitless Life with God. These are virtual events a couple times a year where you get as a member, you get a completely free ticket there. There's also the annual Brilliance event. And so you get a free ticket to that as well as a member. Pretty darn cool. The gatherings, which we just had one. Who was on last night? I tried to be on. I did watch the replay though. I did watch the replay. I was at a very upscale home, and but their Wi-Fi was terrible, and I couldn't make it happen. I'm like, "Arr." Anyway, and so but the monthly gatherings are just amazing, where you get to see Graham live, and you get to just see him do his thing. It's just so cool. But there's training for Kingdom Activators. I know Jalen did an amazing job on there. Dion was on there, and the whole crew was on there. But there's also small groups, which we did talk about last night. And these are online weekly small groups via Zoom, and you join based on a time that's convenient to you. We do it by time, not by geographic location. You may have a group of 10 to 12 people on a Zoom, and one's from Japan, one's from Canada, one's from Kentucky, whatever. And so it's kind of neat. And so you choose the time zone that's convenient for you. Typically, these are 12-week studies from content in the Brilliant Plus app, and you guys get to dive deep into that. And so we have facilitators that help walk you through that. You guys get to have amazing fellowship and community, which is really, really needed, really needed. That's some of the biggest breakthroughs that the company has seen has actually come from those small groups of people hearing how other people are applying it and breakthroughs that they've had, being able to ask questions, et cetera. So it's a wonderful part of the membership. Now, the ambassador, that allows you to promote the movement. And so you get your own link to tell people about the Brilliant Plus, the Brilliant movement, as well as the 5-day free trial. And you share a portion of the membership fee. And so when you introduce somebody, you actually get whatever, if they do it monthly or annually, you actually get a percentage of that every single time that they, pay for the membership, which is really, really nice. And you receive ambassador only. We say monthly training, but I tend to do more than once a month training to help you grow your impact and income. Just today, I was on with a gentleman who has a very large podcast, a Christian podcast. He's really excited about it. He's excited to start talking about this and start sharing it with his audience. And so just really cool things that are moving. Now, the way that we compensate you, we actually give you a Brilliant debit card, which I'll share with you here in a second. And you're able to move your funds wherever you want to your bank account or whatever. But it's a pretty cool debit card, and I know we're shipping out quite a few of those right now, and some people are going to have some cool stories. Now, I will tell you that the ambassador program is currently in the U.S. only. How will we pick future countries? What's the deadline? I get asked this literally every day, and I'm sure everyone on here does too. And so we're looking at where is the membership growing? Where's the membership growing? And so we're keeping an eye on that. Where's the membership growing? We do have existing members in 72 countries. We do know which countries have more members right now, and so we are keeping an eye on both of those. Where's growth, and where are people currently And here's a picture of the debit card. I'm really excited about this because I actually think this is a very powerful marketing tool for you. If you notice, first of all, it doesn't look like your normal credit card, right? I think if you go to a restaurant or wherever you're using it, I think people will kind of look at it a little bit like, oh, what's this? And if you notice, there's a little slogan there, see yourself the way God sees you. I think that's intriguing. I think some people in this day and age may see that and be like, what's this about? Oh, glad you asked. Now, I would suggest, just being a professional, marketer, networker for the last 20 years, I would suggest that you don't just give them your business card or give them your pamphlet or give them your whatever, because most people don't follow up and most people are pretty busy. I would actually get their information and I would say, you know what? I'm happy to share more info. Tell you what, you're working right now. Tell you what, I promise if you give me your information, I'll follow up with you. Because if I get their information, 100% guarantee I'll follow up. If I give my information, pretty rare I'll ever hear from them again. That's just what I've noticed. And so I don't know about your experience, but this is how you access it. You're able to use it globally anywhere Visa is accepted. And also you are able to just, if you don't want to use the funds, you can just transfer that, or use the card, I should say. You can just transfer that to your bank account. And it's really, really simple. And so you can refer an unlimited number of people to join us, and they also spread the message and share in the blessing. And we're going to help you in your efforts. And so we have a proven way of promotion, a tested and proven way. And so you'll be able to invite anyone to a 5-day free trial. Now, this is very unique. I've actually never seen a company that had this sort of thing. But the 5-day free trial will allow someone to experience the movement for 5 days for free. Now, over the last 14 months, Brilliant Perspectives has tested this with over $120,000 in paid advertising, this exact 5-day free trial. Okay. So they've tested it, they've tweaked it, they moved the button here, they repositioned Graham's picture, they've adjusted this thing to get it to perform. And they actually got it to perform at a 79% conversion. Now, that means that, almost 8 out of 10 people that joined the free trial ended up becoming paying members. That's really impressive. That's an incredible number. And so I just figured, hey, why don't we just give people the thing that you guys have been testing all this time instead of reinvent the wheel? And so this is what I highly recommend you lead with. If you do decide to run with us and you decide to promote, highly recommend you just focus on the 5-day free trial. So I don't tell people, hey, it's this much a month and it's this month a year. I say, hey, why don't you just get a 5-day free trial? If someone actually asks me, well, how much does it cost? I say, well, it may not cost you anything. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, try the 5-day free trial and you may hate it. You may get in there and say, oh, I don't like Graham. I mean, I've yet to see that happen, but who knows, right? I say it may not cost you anything. I'm leaning on the 5-day free trial. I'm resting on that. Get in there, go check it out for 5 days. If you don't like it, you can always cancel, of course. And so we're excited. We give you the exact same tool. And so let me give you a scenario. And I never want to hype up, give you some crazy scenario. I'm going to give you 2 scenarios. Okay, I'm going to give you I think a very average ordinary scenario, and I'm going to give you one that's a little bit more effort, okay? Because I'm sure that there's a percentage of you in here that maybe you have influence, maybe you have a following, maybe you lead a group or you're a church leader, etc. So I'm going to give you 2 different scenarios, all right? And so let's say that you decide, you know what? I think that this could really help people, and I'm going to invite 6 people a day to the free trial. That's what I'm going to do. Well, if you did that, and you didn't have, of course, 79% conversion, but you had 15%. We kind of came to that number. We felt that was pretty conservative, right? It's not 50%, it's not 79%, 15%. So if you invite 6 people a day to the free trial, at the end of month 1, you'd have about 25 customers. But you know what? Busy month, let's say you do about half that, you got 12 customers, right? And so I'm trying to give you a conservative kind of look. So what would the first 3 months look like if you did that? Okay. Well, the first 3 months, and this is your first kind of revealing of the compensation plan, anyone that you personally refer, you make 25% of whatever they spend in membership fees the rest of their life, right? And I don't know how, now this is, it's interesting. I don't know how many people I've met that tell me I've been following Graham for 20 years, 30 years, 15 years. And so I'm curious if you're on here and you have been a follower of Graham, drop your number in, right? Now, some of you just got introduced to him, or some of you have never even been introduced to him. And so if you've been following Graham for any length of time, how long have you been following Graham? I'm just curious. And I want you to just think for a second, like when people find his content, I know it was for me, right? When I found his content just 14 months ago, um, man, he was my mentor. Like his content was so good that I just wanted more of it. And I find that with a lot of people. And so you may have people that pay their membership dues for the next 20 years and you have what's called residual income. You have a passive income, someone that you introduced to 20 years prior and you're still getting compensated on. That's pretty amazing. And so anyone that you personally refer, you make 25% of any amount that they spend on the membership, whether they do annually or monthly. And then anyone that they introduce to it and refer, you get 10%, and it goes down from there for a total of 50% payoff. Okay. And so, or payout, I should say. And so let's say that you decide that you're going to introduce, 20 roughly 20 people a week to the free trial and about 15% conversion. You have 12 members at the end of the month. None of them buy annual, right? Everyone just does monthly to keep it at the lowest possible, income. That'd be $141 recurring monthly income, right? Not breaking the bank, but not too bad. Let's say none of those 12 do anything month one, but month two, they tell some people, but they never tell more than one person a day. Okay, so I'm not projecting on the people you introduce the same work ethic you will have, but I'm just saying they never introduce any more than one a day. So if they introduce one a day, you times that out and they get 15% conversion, not 79. You'd have 72 members, month two on your level two. That's over $500 monthly income coming in, month out. That starts to get pretty serious. $500 a month would help a lot of families. And then month three, you're looking around 1,300. But I think the bigger deal here is look at how the membership grows. Look at how your impact grows. 324 people. Like, what would it look like if you helped 324 people activate the kingdom using the app, the group, the gatherings? I mean, that's, by the way, the average, we looked this, we did chat GPT it. The average church in America is about 100 people. In 3 months, you could have kicked off a momentum that's impacting like 3 churches yourself that you did. How cool is that? And that's you sending 20 links per week for 3 months only. Can you imagine month 12? Well, we didn't want to scare you or like blow your mind with the actual number. So we reduced the conversion. We're like, you know what? They can't handle this. We reduced the conversion to 10% and said, okay, let's reduce it to 10%. After 12 months, you'd be making an impact of over 1,000 people and be generating over $10,000 a month. Now, listen, this has never been done before. There's no way of knowing what the impact and income might be. This isn't, we just don't know. This is a ground floor thing. This is new. Now, the app isn't new. Before there was ever an opportunity, there were 6,000 paying members in 72 countries. So people love the content. Clearly, they're paying for it. They enjoy it. They love it. And I always want to remind you that this is about impact first, income second. It is wow, how cool. They're actually compensating me for telling people about it. I've been telling people about Graham since I encountered him, right? And so whether someone is paying me or not, I'm going to tell people about Graham because his content changed my life. And I think a lot of you are of that same mindset. But here you actually get to do both. You get to do both. And so you get to choose, how big will my kingdom impact be? And we see this as kingdom multiplication. Multiplication meaning you may introduce it to someone who is influential or is a church leader or really catches the vision, wants to run with this. And now everyone that they talked, you're actually getting, you're able to participate in that impact and income. Pretty cool. Now, I told you I'd give you 2 scenarios. I want to give you a second scenario. This is not average ordinary scenario. Okay. This is someone that's actually like, okay, I'm going to put in some effort, or they're an existing leader, or, have a podcast, content creator, influencer, or they're just going to put in some work. Okay. And so with more effort, well, you'd have more reach, right? You would hit bigger numbers. And so, we felt like, if someone is influential, or they're putting in work, we felt like, what, I think that they would get a higher percentage close. Now I'm never going to run a scenario at 79%. I'm just not going to. Although we were able to accomplish that in advertising with cold leads, I don't want to set expectations that high, because that is an extremely high conversion rate. And so we decided, what, if someone is going to really roll up their sleeves and go to work and do some pretty serious effort, or if they're just a great marketer and they have a big following, people watch their videos, etc., we think that people could have 20 people a day accessing their 5-day free trial link. And what if you got 20% conversion? Well, at the end of a month, you have 112 personal members. Again, this isn't your average ordinary reach out. This is someone like putting in effort or already has influence. Okay. And at the end of first month, that's $1,300 recurring income. Again, whether that's with nobody buying the annual. And then, from there, it starts to get even crazier. But I'm going to show you a graph, because it starts to get into, wild numbers here. So let's show the graph. So month one with hustle or influence, again, your first line people that you introduce, it's 25% commission. You're reaching out, you're getting 20 links a day. Now, for some people, like the guy I talked to today, he's got a huge podcast. It gets millions of downloads. Like, for him to drop a link and 20 people a day to hit that link is not crazy. I have a podcast. We know that that's not crazy numbers. But with a 20% conversion rate, that'd be 112 personal referrals. That's $1,300 recurring monthly, month one. Okay. Month two starts to get out of hand. Okay. Because if you look, and again, you're making 10% of anyone that you refer, that they refer. And you're looking at 627 level 2 referrals. That's 2,900. And I did, if you notice the top number there, I doubled it, right? Because if you're at 20 people a day you're reaching out to, 20% conversion, you'd be getting steadily around 112 a month personally, if you kept up, your effort. But it's 800 at the end of month two, 851 Kingdom activators creating a closer relationship with our Heavenly Father. That's really, really cool. And that's $5,500 a month residual income. Month three, it just gets nuts. And let's say, even though I've tried my hardest to give you conservative, right, 20% conversion, not 79%. Oh, by the way, even in this scenario, I don't have one person you ever bring in, or anyone that they ever bring in, or anyone in your team ever that is an influencer, a leader, leads a church, has a podcast, has a social media following. I don't have in this calculation, no one in all 5,101 Kingdom activators in your team ever reach out to more than one person a day. So when I'm telling you, I think this might possibly be conservative, but let's say I'm crazy. All right. Let's say that it's not 18,000 a month at the end of month three. What if it's half that? What if it's 3,000 a month? I mean, it'd still be pretty darn cool. Month in, month out, $3,000 a month coming in. It would just be amazing, right? But we think with hustle or influence, it would be a lot better than that. Now, the assumptions that I made, just to bring this back, not 79% conversion, but 20%. 28-day reach outs from you, but no one in the entire team ever reaches out to more than one a day. And they also never do better than 20%. And oh, by the way, no one ever buys an annual membership, right? Despite our current, and I ran this number right before this, our current annual take is 32%. Now, when someone takes an annual, that's 9 times more commission for you. We didn't calculate any of that, right? So there is no number that has an annual, even though we're seeing 32% take. One of the most popular questions we're getting in support, which is a great question to get, is, hey, I love this stuff. How do I upgrade from monthly to annual? That's a good sign. That's good, right? That means people are like, wow, this is actually amazing. And so here's a cool chart. And the questions that, I'll give you here are, where are you now? Where would you like to be? And so if you notice, right, it's income versus impact. There are some people, low impact, low income, right? That's where, some people may feel that they are. Um, Maybe you're not, you don't feel like you're helping people grow in the kingdom, and you're also not making a lot of money. Here's where I feel I was. I had made a lot of money, and I felt lost. I thought, is this it? Like, am I just going to keep making more money? Is that the deal? I didn't feel like I was making any kind of real impact. Now I was teaching people and helping people, coaching people, mentoring people. But if I was lost and felt like something was missing, then am I really serving them? And so I think that there's a lot of business people. I'm here in Naples, Florida, and this is like the capital of, people who have sold their business, right? I run into people every single day that sold their business for millions of dollars, and they're searching, they're hungry, they're looking for, I don't know what else to do. Sometimes people fall into depression after making their largest amount of money. And then you have people, and I think I believe a lot of Christians, a lot of pastors, a lot of people, they're making a big impact. They're bringing people to Christ. They're helping people understand the gospel. They're going and doing mission stuff, but they're barely scraping by. They can't fund the missions that they really want to do. They're constantly having to, raise money to do the things that God's calling them to do. And I think that there's another way. I think that you can be high impact and high income. We want to help you do that, and we believe we can. I the stories. I mean, almost every day I'm getting a text message, an email, a direct message on Facebook from someone who is like, "Whoa, I just had the biggest breakthrough." And they're, some of them are in Fruit of the Spirit, some of them are in Art of Thinking Brilliantly, some of them are in Constant Continuous Favor. There's so many different programs in the app that people are having breakthroughs from, and it's just wonderful to see that happening. And now they can take their breakthrough, go share it with the world, and people, they want what they're having. And so they then say, "Hey, how do I get in that?" "Well, I got a 5-day free trial." And so it's really, really neat. You get to choose, what do you want to do with us, if anything. And I'll give you some questions here in a minute. We believe that the world is ready for this concept, and we're just so honored to work it with you. And so, how to decide? This is a huge question. I ask this question all the time. I ask this question when people, uh, you know, come to me and present me with something. When I'm invited to an event or a meeting. God, are we doing this? I love this question. God, are we doing this? And I would encourage you to ask this question. God, are we doing this? By the way, if you get a no, that's okay. We love you. I would encourage you to, check out the content. God, should I check out the content? Maybe add a second question. And that just means that God has something else for you, because God has big plans for you. You are a valuable, valuable person in the kingdom. Whether you run with us or not, you're a valuable person. God loves you so much. Ask this question. God, are we doing this? And if you are, awesome. Let's run. Let's do it. And if you're not, that's totally okay. We love you. God loves you. We appreciate you. And so if you get a yes on that, if you feel that this is something that you're supposed to move forward with, it's real simple. Number one, get back with the person that invited you. And I would encourage you, get their link to the 5-day free trial and use it, right? Get signed up for the 5-day free trial, get into the content. See, am I just, painting some picture that isn't true, or is the content really that good? Go find it out. For me, I am in such a deep, deep study of the art of thinking brilliantly. I mean, I'm just going over and over and over and over. If I do it a few more times, I probably will have it memorized, because I kind of have this weird thing with memory and repetition. And so it is so good. And every time I listen, just like I think it was Eric, every time that I listen to it, I watch it, I get something new that I'm like, man, I needed to hear that again. I needed to hear that. And so get back with the person who invited you. Get in. I highly encourage you to get into the content. And step two, if you do decide to join as an ambassador, you will be sent a link, or you'll be sent an email with a bunch of links, and make sure you save your unique link. That's who you're going to tell people about. We give you suggestions on your first, post or email or text message, whatever you want to do. And we already see people really running with this. I know, Kim and her team, they're actually doing a prayer challenge right now. They just kicked it off, I think, yesterday. They got all kinds of people, that are doing this prayer challenge, and they're just sharing content from the app to these people that aren't yet in the app, and sharing that goodness, and people want it. So, the kingdom is about leading with goodness, leading with goodness. How do you get goodness out there? And I'll share with you, I think in the next slide, something about that. And so you want to access your resources. If you do decide to move forward with us, download the Brilliant Communities. That's for ambassador communication. We post lots of things in there. We post your links, training, etc. But also the Brilliant Plus app is where all the content is, that I've been referring to all night. And then access the ambassador group, and the training resources are posted there. And so the best way to promote, because sometimes people are like, hey, I get it. I like this idea. How do I promote it? Well, I came up about, I don't know, 12 or 13 years ago, I came up with a concept called ILT, invest, learn, teach. You invest your time, possibly money, to learn something, then you teach from it. I find that anyone can do this. I remember when my stepdad, he had watched and he, blue collar, he's since passed, but blue collar guy, didn't go to college. And one day he comes to me and he's telling me all these environmental facts. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? Like what's that? He watched a documentary. He was ILT-ing me. So I found that anyone can take notes, they can learn, have some breakthroughs, and share it with others. And we're wired to do that. We're wired to share. And so the best way for you to promote is not just throw your link out everywhere and just Hail Mary it into the end zone and hope that someone, does it. But go through the content, grow closer with God, take notes, share your notes and your breakthroughs, and then tell people, hey, if you'd like to get access to this, I got a 5-day free trial I can share with you. That's, I think, the best way to promote. And again, if you're not sure if you want to promote, or maybe you're really focused on, what you're doing, and awesome, great, I would at least get into the content. And just remember, before we ever had any kind of opportunity, any kind of debit card or anything like that, we had 6,000 paying members in 72 countries before we had any of that. And so people have really been enjoying this content for quite a while, and they love it. And so, and we think you will too. And so get back with the person. If you have, usually there's, one of three types of people, right? Number one, you see it, you're like, wow, this is amazing. I want to run with it. Great. Get back with the person who invited you, get their link, get started. We look forward to helping you out. And we also, I believe, Jenny, correct me if I'm wrong, on Thursday or tomorrow? Thursday.
Thursday.
On Thursday. Okay. On Thursday, our very own Jalen will start doing a weekly, this is big news, orientation for new members, where she walks people through the app, gives them the breakdown, and just makes it really easy. This is an incredible retention magic wand. And so all of you who are telling people about this and having people join, this orientation on a weekly basis is just amazing. You're going to be able to plug your people in. They'll learn exactly how the app works, get suggestions on what content to consume first, and get, different things like that. And you'll learn how to be in relation with the Lord, because honestly, the answer, and Teresa did it so well last Friday on our ambassador update, but the answer to what should you go through first is get in relation with the Lord right away and say, Lord, what should I listen to first? I remember one day I just finished, I think, Fruit of the Spirit. I just finished Fruit of the Spirit, and I'm like, Lord, what should I go through? And I got the word abide. I'm like, abide. I'm like, okay, abide. I'm like, And so I go into the Brilliant Plus app, I type abide. There's a course on abiding with God. I'm like, okay, all right, here we go. And so it was just really cool. But on Thursday, you'll be able to invite people, your members, to that orientation. I think that's really, really going to help because we don't want people getting lost. It's very easy, but we're going to make it as easy as humanly possible. And so, or actually didn't go through that one. So number one, you see it, you're like, let's rock and roll, let's go. Get back with the person who invited you. Cool. Number two, you got questions. You like it, you got some questions. Totally fine. Get back with the person who invited you, get your questions answered. We'd love to help you out there. Or number three, you're like, no way, Jose. I want nothing to do with this. You know, I'm out of here. We appreciate you attending. That's okay. That's okay. God bless you. We appreciate you attending. And so we just really appreciate you. Thank you for attending. Get back with the person who invited you, get your questions answered, or get their link if you're wanting to join with us. And yeah, we're just so excited to have you guys. And so that's what I got. I'll stop our share here. Teresa, did you have anything you wanted to share at all? Teresa, by the way, we have a celebrity in the house. Graham's wife. She's amazing. I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to share.
No, I just I love that we're doing this because I think one of the things that we say is, and you had mentioned this, that we want to introduce people to Graham, or what did people feel, the love of God, they feel the goodness and the kindness of God. But I mean, the beauty of it is, and the goal is that we introduce people to the goodness and the kindness of God that leads their heart to repentance and turns towards the Father, because most people have been Christians for a really long time and they still don't know the love of the Father.
Yeah.
They still don't have a relationship with the goodness and kindness of God that turns their heart. And so I think, that really is the sell here, is that we really want to create a movement of goodness. It's the goodness and the kindness of God that leads people to repentance, and it turns the heart of people. And we want people to learn that God loves them the same on their worst day as he does on their best day, and that there's no good and bad days in Christ. There's only days of grace. Slow learning is good learning. All the things that we talk about at Brilliant, we want people to really know that there is a place in the Father's heart that he desires for you to live in. And a
Amen.
lot of people are always trying to live in his heart, and they don't understand that there is already a place there. And we like to help people live, to learn how to stay there.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. For sure. Well, awesome, guys. Well, thank you for being on here. Again, get back with the person who invited you, get your questions answered, or get started with us. And we just really appreciate you for tuning in. And we will see you soon.